Hello ladies and gents, I am Adventrue and welcome back to From the Depths Adventure Mode. To start with, we are starting in the Vehicle Designer because I've been spending a fair while here trying to decide how to adjust the hull of the ship, because it's quite boring really. It's just a straight box there, and the engine compartment is, well, it looks what it is. It's a box which I've just clagged onto the side and then shaped. So I've spent a good while playing around, and what I've come up with is something like this. So this is going to widen the hull out a fair bit, also increase the thickness at the top, and also it does have a slightly benefit of just widening the top section out from the main hull, which just gives me a little bit more space in the central zone there entirely. I'll just get my ship in order. You can see it moving around still.
Moving now. So
it rises out the water. But yeah, it's just this fairly simple utilitarian design, but there is a lot more space in it, so it will allow me to fit more thrusts along the edge, but also just more components. So I can fit a couple more guns, larger guns, whereas this one I am very limited in the internal spaces inside. I think, yes, this one can only fit 7 meter diameter components, whereas here I can fit much larger, and it's also a lot easier to bulk out to fit much bigger guns in. It also allows me, I believe there is enough space along the inside line there for a whole line of engines, or for a laser system, an actual offensive laser, because it's best if they are very long to give you a longer range. But that's just the general idea. The other couple of things, I'm playing around with some of the guns. Namely, I've made one mistake on these guns. These ones are actually, let's just go over to it. These ones have only 2 barrels, yet I can actually increase them up to 4 barrels and make them more efficient. I've also designed a couple of flat guns, which I'm going to add on to the main ship to replace these 4 ones. They're the same sort of design, they just used a timed flak shell, which will help against air targets, which I was having a little bit of difficulty against in the previous episode. The other thing is changes to the primary. This is basically adding on rail components, which were recommended by Mini Ninja, or British Knight, I think there's both names on there, and that will primarily just be used to increase the accuracy from around about this 0.5 down to much closer to 0.3. That I will be checking that momentarily and seeing how well that performs in combat. But let's get back into the adventure mode and start work on these modifications. So this is the fragmentation shell which we're going to be using. It's a slightly longer one than the inertial frag, but it has a big blast radius, so it's again maximum blast radius, so it will do this flak damage over a nice area, and has a timed fuse with a laser designator, so it should explode fairly close to the target. The other thing, which I have gone around and corrected on all my guns, is the minimum accuracy to fire. So this one I've got as minimum of 1 degrees, whereas all the others I've now reduced down to half a degree. They were at 2 degrees, which was probably a big cause of my inaccuracy in the previous episode. So now that is resolved, it will hopefully be a lot better. Now to just swap out this main gun and let's see how it changes with the railgun settings. So here we are setting up the railguns. So it's quite simple. I set the overclock rate to minimum, and then all I want to do, I want to get the railgun to charge just below 1 second, because that will allow me the highest, because my gun I've set it to 60 rounds per minute. So I've just increased this gradually until it gets up to 1 second, or just below 1 second. And the overclock there is the highest overclocking can have, which will mean it uses less power. Which you need to increase this quite a bit. There we go. Just below 1 second. There. It's 26.6. Excellent. So that's going to use 1,500 energy from the batteries per shot, and also we use that much, but it's going to give me an equivalent of that much. So see the accuracy buff. It hasn't actually got a shell loaded at the moment, so I just need to wait for it to load the shell, and then I'll be able to see how well it actually performs. Right, There we go, the gun has now loaded. So you can see the shell inaccuracy. So if I can, it's at 0.491%. If I put all this accuracy in, it actually increases to 0.328. Doesn't seem much of an improvement, but considering the ranges I'm firing at, that 0.2 and a bit is really good. Well, just about 0.2. There are a lot of other locations around there, but I have been in this zone for over 5 hours now, and I think it would be a good idea to move on to somewhere new. So let's go through this red gate. It's also giving me a little bit of time to work on the ship without getting bothered, because the changes I'm going to make are going to tear into the hull. And I don't want to be really attacked by anything too strong in the meantime. So here we go. Into the new area. And difficulty 1.77. And slightly increase in experience. Brilliant. So poor little deep water guard Shuriken has decided to want to attack me. And all my cannons are firing. Fairly inaccurately. But I am also firing at 4.5 kilometers away. And I think it's more the detection. Yeah, it's just not getting especially good detection rates. Oh, I'm right back here now. There you go, though I eventually hit it, and it does explode. Poor thing. You should be ignoring salvage. Why are you still firing? Oh, there's another. A duster. The flak is hitting near it. A little bit behind some of it, but there we go. Just took out a wing. Ooh, hit by the big thing. Well, by the time I noticed this Atlas, it's already out the sky and dying. Flak cannons have shot the balloons off, and then, yeah, it's getting pretty hard to see, actually. Yeah, it's kind of in the water, low visibility. Can't just hit it. Still a few shots falling a little bit short on it. Oh, it appears I took some battle damage in that. I lost the rear gun. I don't know if the Atlas hit it or if I shot it off. But yeah, I actually lost the gun. That's not good. A tiny little submarine has just spawned in. It is the... oh, what? No, that's the... yeah, Tadpole. Steel Striders, not Twin Guard. Why is it Twin Guard? The last one was Twin Guard. Anyway. See, yes, this is going along very slowly. Apparently it might cause some damage, but honestly, I'm not too worried. It's only got sonar detection, and I'd have a rubbish sonar detection, so it won't be able to see me for ages. My sonar boys will be launched out, and then my super cav guns will annihilate it. Well, that submarine managed to really sneak up on me. It was right there before my ship actually noticed it, so I've actually going to add a couple of sonar on. But as you are probably quite able to see, I have almost completed the actual hull sections. The outside is pretty much done. I'm just layering up metal armor on it now. I have just made it airtight, so it's actually now a really good flotation device. So my engines are almost always out of the water now, which is considerably better for movement. So it sinks a little, dips a little bit down. So I want to maybe make him a little bit more buoyant. I just need to now strip out the internals, because I've currently got the old hull hidden in amongst it all. That's doing very nicely, I think. And now I've done it on both. I think I quite like the style. It definitely needs to be expanded to the rest of the ship, though, to stop it looking so, well, like boxes strapped onto itself. But this is a I think it's a very good base to be improved upon. We have ourselves an extremely erratic flyer here. It's going to be very interesting to try and take down. See, the fragmentation is trying. Oh, then it flies straight into one of my primary weapons, and yeah, that's now going to be even harder to hit, but it is dead. Come on, guns. You can do it. Probably can't. Let's move towards it. Get my particle accelerator on the scene. One thing I've done with my ship is, it's not entirely clear, but I have now adjusted it so that rather than having the hydrofoils activate on every few seconds to go to 45, I'm actually controlling them using a PID for altitude. This seems to make it maneuver a little bit better. As I said, it's not entirely clear from here, but it does seem to. I've noticed that for fine maneuvers, for things like landing in resource zones, it's a little bit better than it used to be. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is slightly better. I'm just getting hit by something pretty hard. I need to pause for a moment. Whoa, it's just tearing through the rear. I have no idea what it is. It is hitting my AI core here. And it's about to detonate my guns. Appears this one has the gauges hit. Oh yeah, it's had the front taken out there. This one's still functional. This one's about to detonate. This is this one. What are we facing? Right, so it's a Scarlet Dawn fast plane with a couple of big guns on it. Put myself in combat mode. Let's go. Something's exploded. So the rear turret has been knocked off. That then detonated the ammo storage in front of it, it seems. Dropping a few frames here and there, it seems. Probably because it's still calculating that explosion. Another explosion there, though this time it's on them. I hit it with the primary. Another big hit on the primary. It hits the side, the EMP fires. What are you? A scream. Another good hit. Been hit with an EMP missile. Particle accelerator again hits it. Seems though, yes, I've knocked out its propulsion. Most of it, no, it's working, but it is now appears to be upside down. Yep, there we go. Its propulsion is hit. Again, another couple of primaries hit. The fragmentation's blasting through the far side of the ship. There we go. Enemy is defeated. Oh, the slowdowns from the explosions. I may have to turn that off, actually. It's dramatic and all, but it is also quite irritating when it activates so regularly. Now, what about to there? There is a lot of salvage there, though that's basically going to be spent on repairing what was destroyed. So damage. Yeah, the rear gun was knocked off. Went through the rear armor, actually. Ah, it's really quite thin, that's why. Okay. Actually, is it just wood in there? No, it's got metal beams. It's wood at the front, which is why the ammo store blew up. Took out one of the 4 engines as well. A few of these beams around the main gun. So that does have some nice defensive, but it's a bit worrying, because if that goes up, basically my ship's dead. It costs so much to get it repaired. Spawned in is one of the Onyx Watch vessels. The Iron Cross. It's not going to last particularly long. I think I've fought a couple of these before. Ooh, look at that. Big hit through. Just going to pause and actually have a look to see what damage that did. So it went in... did actually remarkably little. It's basically full of gun. There it is now, AI dead. Still getting a little bit slow down. We've probably been running this session a little bit long now. So my ship has just decided to fight a claymore, and already it has been hit a couple of times, exposing the juicy innards. And yeah, it's not doing particularly well. Oh, I might go... and my cat wants feeding. It seems to have run out of power already. Ooh, good hit on the 4 there. This is just my... I think it's just my fragmentation and my primary. Yep, just... I don't think my super cav is actually in range yet. Yeah, I'm still at 4 kilometers. Yeah, being able to take out ships at 4 kilometers is nice. So we have ourselves a twin guard. Ooh, it's a big railgun. I don't think I've got any... yeah, I've not got actually shields up, so this could do significant damage to me. I've just hit the railgun twice. Still not detonated though. A very explodey design. And that railgun is now completely ineffectual. Let's see if I'm taking any damage at all. But it looks fit in there. I've taken some superficial damage. Seems to have broken off a couple of beams, or a heavily damaged one. So you can see here the primary turret there has been hit. But that's why I have turret caps, to protect them. Annoyingly, I didn't notice quite how many resources I actually have, so I built all this modification out of wood to save on resources, though I have 25k. So I'm now having to go through and replace all the wood with metal. It's taken a while. I'm basically at the point now that the enemies I'm fighting have enough resources I just don't need resource zones, because look at it. I could go there for 300, or I could just go grab this salvage for another 1600, and this salvage over here for another 2,500. So yeah, it's getting quite a lot of resources now. There was something I was just fighting over here. I think it was a drone spawned by the previous twin guard I faced. Oh, there it is. That little thing. Yep, that's not gonna last particularly long, but I can barely see it because it's actually underneath the waves. The poor wander has decided to wander over and is getting completely annihilated. The first barrage took out all his balloons, there goes the rest of them. And now it's going to be really annoying to hit. Oh, though I still manage it. Half the ship is just annihilated there. How is the AI not dead? I thought the AI was there. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, it is there. Wow, just missed it. There's a twin guard ship here, continuous laser. Volta. Seems pretty inaccurate, probably because my smoke's just deployed. They seem to be doing a fair bit at me. Don't seem to be hitting it though at all. I think it is far away off. 4 kilometers, it's getting closer. frag shells hitting, doing minor damage. This fragmentation shell is detonating on the surface, thanks to the tip reducing the bouncing the actual inertial fuse angle there. He's definitely actually helping here and there. Look, he took the nose off the ship. Frag shells muted that. There you go. Some more frag hitting in the rear. And now that is pretty ineffectual. I'll send my ship after it now. I sustained negligible damage. As you can see, I've been doing a little bit more shaping and detailing on the ship. Changed most of the beams now into metal. There's still a couple hidden around which are wood. Generally, we've got 1 or 2 layers of metal around most of the ship now. It does seem to be moving quite nicely. Still not turning great, but it is a huge hunk of metal, so it's kind of to be expected, really. I had a few bands of heavy armour in here and there. The ship is now actually manoeuvring sideways. I think it's doing this on purpose to try and get to this resource zone. Yeah, it is. Actually, what I should add on a couple of side thrusters. Oh, something else laser. What are you? So it's actually another Volta. Lasers shooting in the sky because of my smoke being deployed. Then my ship is firing at the other one. So what damage I'm actually sustaining. Minimal from that continuous laser. It is hitting me rarely. Darkened a couple of blocks, but no actual damage yet. Some of the weapons have decided to change target now, firing at the other Volta. And seems to have disabled it. Still seems to be functional, but yeah, that's the EMP. I've knocked out its propulsion, but its AI is still currently functional. EMP though wrecks through it again and destroys the AI core. Oh, and another ship. Didn't see you. Ooh, you're looking big. Steel Striders, perhaps? No, just no. A ransack. That's a shame. It's one of the Deepwater Guard one's lookalikes. Super cav guns are firing at the ransack. Now this is what I like. My ship firing at multiple targets with different weaponry. It's glorious. Well, it appears that my ship has now run out of ammo. Darn. I haven't got any ammo processors on this thing. I've been purely lasting on ammo barrels and passive regen. But it seems that targets like this are a real pain to deal with. Half under the water, so very poor detection, and very erratic movement because it's half under the water because I have killed it. Maybe I should get some missiles. I'll get myself some long-range missiles, I think, to deal with targets like this. So at last the Volta has been destroyed, and now I can focus all fire on the ransack. Which, being a lot nicer, larger target, yeah, completely ripped apart by the primary weapons. So the primary gun now only has 20 shells racked out of around about, I think it's 120, 130. This still got 500, 450, 450, 500, 450, 500. Yeah, so they're all okay. It's just my passive regen, mainly for the primary gun, is a little bit low. So it could do with a lot more ammo barrels, I think. Of course, though, adding more ammo barrels in will make my ship a little bit more explosive. What we see here is the remnants of an urchin. I basically got here and the shell hit. The difficulty slider is very strange. New target was a calamar. Nice large target for my shells to hit. Make it leap up into the air there. Take off one of the paddles. It's going to make it knocking confetti off it. Tons more. It's going to make it basically stop manoeuvring now. Look at that. part of the mast is still just standing up in the middle of the air there. Both shells hit. Shells are both pretty accurate. It's not too damaged though. The accuracy bonus definitely helps. I now have a couple of new additions on the ship, and that are these two sabot guns at the front of the ship. And they're basically very simple. I'll show you the ammunition in a moment. And 150mm, and they fire pretty darn quick actually, and have a very nice long range. Probably going to not do much against shields, but should give a nice little bit of peppering at the target. And also more guns is always good. And it also does a big improvement over the tiny little pepper guns we had before. And though they still aren't especially defended. I've also added on a lambs at the front, which is nice, and increased the ammunition capacity in this section here, and put the flare at the side, near the engines, so that as the IR missiles come towards the engines, they get deflected correctly. This is the sabot shell I am using, basically sabot composite with base bleeder. It travels a very nice distance at a high velocity. So this is going to be used shortly after my flat cannon and the primary have decided to fire. And yes, it's very high velocity, so hopefully it will actually do plenty of damage. Yeah, I believe it's enough. Yes, this is actually probably enough to take out a metal beam, I reckon. I think it is 22 to 500. I believe that is enough to take out a metal beam. Let's quickly check. Metal block, beam, full beam. Yeah, so we'll take out a metal beam by itself quite handily. What am I going to do? I'm actually going to travel through this portal. I think I am actually aiming towards getting some salvage, so hopefully I'll grab the salvage before I go through the portal. Come on, it's like right there. Don't mind if I don't grab the salvage, but it'll be nice. Come on, grab the salvage. Oh, and I missed the portal. Okay, fair enough. There's a lot of resource zones over in that direction, but I'm preferring to just grab resources from salvage. You've seen there, I just grabbed another couple of thousand resources. Whereas the resource zones, they can have a little bit in, but it's more interesting to fight things. And then you just go near them to grab the salvage rather than trying to sit in one spot, which for this thing is a bit of a pain. Well, yeah, there we go. Into a new area. And what is difficulty? Difficulty is 1948712. Up to 112 experience gained. Excellent. So what we've been doing in this warp zone, the lighting has been absolutely atrocious, so the footage which I had is just diabolical. You can barely tell what's going on. We can barely see in front of me, only like 100. Look how far away I am from my ship, and you can barely see the thing. Look, 500 meters, it disappears. So yeah, all the footage of all the combat, of which there has been a fair bit, as you can see. I've got myself 33,000 resources now. It was mostly against a lot of wooden designs of Deepwater Guard, mainly a few Onyx Watch ships, and even the small Onyx Watch ships, they're worth so much material. And nothing has got anywhere close to me. Everything's been dying about 3-4 kilometers away. What I have been doing though is I have been adding shields, so you can see shields around a good proportion of the ship now. Nowhere near 100% coverage, but these amounts of shields should help reduce a significant portion of kinetic input. I'm missing a big gap here, but certain areas, such as the AI, is nicely shielded. These are only weak reflect shields at the moment, and I was just going to be adding strength on it as I continue. The other thing is I have removed the system which automatically turns off engines when not in combat. This is because I feel like I have just a lot of engine power, and the efficiency of my refineries, they're now at efficiency of 16, so they now get 16 fuel per resource, more from the default 10, which is when you buy fuel tanks, so that's good. And having over well, between 500 and 1000 power per fuel while running, I have considerable amounts of power for material costs, which is absolutely brilliant. So let's just finish up watching this Vanguard get murdered. This weather is also absolutely terrible for any sight. As you can see, this little Vanguard is taking absolute beating. Though the kinetic rounds are now firing and it's just spraying it to pieces. But yeah, this is pretty much all the footage I had, and it's like this. It's not that pretty. Still, I've gone on for just over half an hour now, I believe. So I think that's a good place to leave off the episode. So thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths with myself, Anna Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Otherwise, that's it for me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!